All right, let's head to Gold Coast where Freo got an important win. And I'll tell you what, there was a moment in this third term where they were being challenged. You can see the scoreline there. They'd controlled it early, the Dockers, but then the Suns had got themselves back in front. And when you look at them here on the spread, I thought they were done at this point because you can see a whole bunch of Freo players just lagging behind. They looked out in their legs. It was a tough, wet day. I thought they were done at this point, but the way they responded to this was fantastic.
Yeah, and all through the game, they were able to wrestle back little patches of momentum, and Brayshaw was one of those players that had a hand in most of those moments that they needed just to find something. And it was a really good win for the Dockers in really difficult conditions on the Gold Coast. But the ebbs and flows of the game through Brayshaw, Sarong, Jordan Clark, and even Fife, when he came on as the sub, he had a very good fourth term, 7 disposals, 1 tackle and 1 clearance. But when the game's on the line, they're the things that you need to rely on. And they rolled up the sleeves, they got to work, and this last play, Shea Bolton, really good chase down tackle, and then Jai Amos good enough to finish off to be 11 points up at the end of the game. And that was just the exclamation mark and the ecstasy and the agony. That is how we're going to sum up those two clips. Dimmer and Longmuir there, really just one of those moments that they needed to find something, but there were multiple of those during the game. So if you look at the timeline at three-quarter time, all the way through, so they held the lead at every change, but three-quarter time they were up 13. But the first 10 minutes of that third quarter, the Gold Coast Suns owned. They were able to get back to a 1-point lead, which is the score that we saw at the start of that clip. But then the last 9 clearance of the third term Freo got, and they ended up with a 13-point advantage at three-quarter time. They ended up with the 11-point lead at full time, but they were able to just find another gear. The Gold Coast Suns pushed them, but Freo, they were able to just get their noses in front when they needed to, which has been something we've probably haven't seen a whole lot of from them this season. And now they've won 3 on the trot. Their next 3 are all at home, so they have a bye next week. They're 7-5. Their next 3 opponents are North, Essendon and St Kilda. So they are sitting in a much better spot, and I've been critical on them this year, and I think some of their performances probably warranted that. But what we saw this afternoon on the Gold Coast was what a lot of us have expected to see from Fremantle. So if they can keep that up, they are well within the hunt to finish in the top 8. Yeah,
they could very easily be 10-5 after that next month that they've got ahead of them. A flashpoint late in this game with Dan Rioli and Andy Brayshaw. You can see it here. Questions around whether or not the MRO could have a look at this, but I want you to take a look at Shea Bolton in the moments just leading up to this. I think this is what might save Dan Rioli in the end. You can see Shea Bolton comes in there, gives him a slight shove into the contest. I think that's probably what saves Dan Rioli in the end from a visit to the match review on Sunday afternoon. Matt Rowell also reported in this game, but we're expecting that one to be thrown out relatively quickly on Sunday morning. All right, Kate, you're Saturday king now. Pat Voss, you love him. He was fantastic.
Oh, the aura of the man. He has one of the biggest chests in football, and even if it's not, he puffs it out like it should be. He has some real energy about him, Patrick Voss. The 7 disposals, 8 tackles, which is one of the things that you love seeing from a player that plays as that key position role in some capacity at Fremantle. But I just love the way he goes about his football. On Bailey Humphrey here, just really tries to show him who's boss. He struts around like he owns the ground, and 3 goals, which is a career high for him. He played a very important hand in this game, but whether he did or not, he acted like he did, and that's what I love about him.
He's starting to become a bit of a cult hero at the Dockers as well, which you love. We also love this. It's our moment of the weekend, and it came from the Gold Coast debutant in Leo Lombard, kicking his first goal in AFL footy. He's got such high raps on him. But have a look at the celebration, Kate. He wanted every single person in this stadium to join in with him.
Well, even if they didn't, he was going to run to them and make sure that he did. And then he continued it. Most people say don't come off after you've kicked a goal, but if you're going to celebrate like this, come off after every goal that you kick. GPS numbers would look good after that one as well. So he's very clever in his celebrations, but good on him. He's waited a while to make his debut. Obviously was very highly touted to play in round 1, round 0. Obviously didn't eventuate, but had that shoulder injury in the pre-season game against the Brisbane Lions. So he's waited for that moment, and they're the highs of football, aren't we? We saw the lows with Callum Ward, but they're the highs of football.
He was fantastic, Leo Lombard, with that goal.